Well, you've been rented the 2022 Pan America Special. First thing I'm going to do when you arrive is give you an overview of the controls, but I thought I'd do that here on a video where you could watch it a couple of times. I'm going to be handing you a set of keys. The key fob is a wireless key fob that allows you to start the bike and control the bike as long as this is on your person or near the bike. There are two keys attached to the keychain. The small key opens the bags. The bags cannot be opened without the key, and they cannot be closed without the key. So the key turns, locks the bag, opens the bag, and you can get inside. It also is the key that removes the bags, and the bags are removed by turning the lock on the small latch at the back of the bag on the sides. And then once you get that removed, you can grab the handle and give a firm and quick jerk, and the bag comes off. Bag to put back on, these studs in the back. It is more difficult to do one-handed. Press firmly back in place, make sure that the top and the bottom studs are engaged. Put the latch back over. Shut the latch, turn the lock, remove the key, make sure that it is secure. The top bag is slightly different. The latch unhooks the same way. That removes the latch from down here. And then below there is another small latch here that when you press that latch, allows this box to be slid backwards and easily removed from the bike. Putting it back on is just the same. You set it up in place, slide it forward until it clicks, re-engage this latch, and then it is locked on the bike securely. Now, the top box is designed to be able to slide side to side while it is latched and locked in place. That serves as a ballast when you have weight in the bag. On the controls of the bike, as long as the keys are in your hand or on the bike, the right hand controls are like this. This is the start switch. Pulling it towards you turns the bike on. You can hear the fuel pump engage, the screen lights up, goes through its boot process. Behind the start switch is your mode button. That changes your riding modes. If you press this button, you can see on the screen above the mile per hour indicator, there is a road. Press it once, you go to sport mode. Sport mode does not disable the traction control or ABS, but it does give you a little bit more throttle response and increases your horsepower, and also stiffens the suspension. Another press gives you off-road mode. Another press gives you off-road plus. Another press gives you rain mode, which reduces your horsepower. You have to have more throttle to get throttle response, and it also softens the suspension and engages even higher ABS and traction control. One more press gives you back to road mode, and that is all of your modes. You can see your tire pressure at the bottom right of the screen, followed by voltage, engine temperature, and ambient temperature. On the left is your range to empty. You can notice that on the fuel gauge is on the bottom right as well, and the range to empty is on the top left. Your trip meters, The flashing suspension light in the bottom of the screen is normal when you are at a stop. That is just an indication that the bike is in its lowered position when it comes to a stop. Back to the right hand controls. Your hazard indicator is here. These are controls if your phone is Bluetooth to the bike. You can control music and phone and that kind of thing. This also is for the Bluetooth connection, so you can do a voice commands to your phone, pressing that button. To release traction control, I would not recommend that. Releasing traction control also turns off your wheelie control, and the front of the bike becomes very light and can easily pop a wheelie without traction control or break the back tire loose. To do that though, you press and hold. When you press and hold the traction control while the bike is running and sitting still, a traction control light will come up on the dash. The phone mount is a quad lock phone mount with a integrated wireless charging. If you have a quad lock or would like to bring a quad lock with you, you're welcome to use that. I do have quite a few quad lock cases that I loan out for renters if I have a case that fits your phone. On the left-hand controls, you can see first is the cruise control. To turn on the cruise is the rear of this button, turns on the cruise control. That gives you an indicator, the yellow indicator that's just to the left of the 8 on the tachometer. You can see it turn off and then turn back on. That lets you know that your cruise control is on. To set the cruise, you pull this switch toward you. That is your set. And to decrease speed. To resume is away from you. You can disable the cruise at any time with the clutch, brake, or turning your throttle backwards away from you also disables the cruise control. Brights on your headlights is here. Pulling it toward you gives you the ability to flash. Pushing it away turns the brights on, goes back to dim. These are the controls for your menu on the main screen, which is also a touch screen. If you prefer a white background on your display, you can press the home button and hold it for 3 seconds. The menu will go white. Press the home button again and hold it for 3 seconds. The menu will go black. This would get you into the menu options, pressing the file button here. And then you can scroll left and right using these arrows. For the settings on the bike. The map setting on the bike only works if your phone is Bluetooth to the bike and you have the Harley-Davidson app that has the map installed. Blinkers, like normal bikes, left and right. They are self-canceling, but if you want to purposely cancel it, you can just press forward. The horn is just below for your thumb. These 2 switches are for your auxiliary lights. The bottom one is for normal driving. You can see that it turns on auxiliary lights, and then the top one turns on more, but they are higher and much brighter and would not recommend using them while driving on regular highways. But on a dark road when nobody's in front of you, you can use that for being able to see everything. The other key that is on the keys is also for locking the handlebars here. Starting the bike, turn your switch on, make sure it is in neutral, and press the start switch. The starter button is on the top and it does not need to be held down. gets away from you, turns the bike off. After a few seconds, the display will go black and the bike is off. You will hear a chirp that lets you know that the alarm is set. The alarm does not have a button to set or turn off. It is just with the proximity of the key fob. A couple of other items that I just would like to let you know about is the Jiffy stand or kickstand. When the bike is in its lowered position, when you come to a stop, the Jiffy stand is harder to put down, so you might have to lean the bike slightly to the right to put the Jiffy stand down. If that is difficult for you to do, turning the bike off, bouncing the suspension a few times, lets the suspension pump itself back up, and then the Jiffy stand will go down much easier. It also makes it easier putting down the center stand, which is found here. Pressing the center stand down and holding onto the metal bar here while pressing down and lifting on the metal bar and pulling the bike backwards with the handlebars is the easiest way to put the bike on the center stand. It is easier to do without bags or weight, but it is also necessary for doing regular maintenance on the bike, looking at the tires, doing chain cleaning and lubing, and that kind of thing. We'll cover that in another video.